Yes, people, welcome back to the final part of the NAC Road to Finals 2024. Kicking things off, we've got Aya Hijazi in the red from the All-Stars Gym, the Sandra Sumela from Haringey in the blue. So as you would expect, really good first round from Aya. She's a development champion, the London development champion. Working behind the jab, great hand speed. Sometimes she's got a tendency, I think, to trade a little bit too much, and during those exchanges, she lacks some lateral movement, and then she does get hit flush in the face. But let's not take anything away from Sandra, because Sandra beat a really tough girl, Justin, from the Metropolitan Police. I thought she was going to lose that fight because that girl is tough. She is solid. But Sandra outboxed her, got the win. Just goes to show, you know, if you've got the great determination and you can box, you can beat tougher opponents, which is exactly what she did. However, in this fight, I thought that Aya made it a little bit harder for herself than she needed to. The energy started to wane a little bit in the second and third round. She let Sandra back into it, but still got the win. So Aya now goes on to fight Bianca Haynes in the final in the 60 kg category. Aya's the more experienced girl. I think if she boxes to her strengths and she doesn't kind of get baited in by Bianca leaning forward with the hands up and then countering her, she should take the win. So a win for Aya going into the final. So next up, Dylan Oke v Gabriel Purcell. Gabriel, as expected, hyped up for the fight. He's coming to fight. He's not going to back down. And he absolutely gave it everything. Now, with Dylan, he has got a tendency to make very good boxers look very, very uncomfortable. Now, that's for a mixture of reasons, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but I thought this fight was going to be closer. Now, this video, we're going to split it up a little bit because we're going to look at some of Yassin's, or not some of, we're going to look at Yassin's last couple of fights and do kind of a contrast and compare and then do some analysis. But this fight, it was very one-sided. It's not that Gabriel wasn't competitive, he wasn't there to fight, but physically, Dylan was dominating. And this is the key thing with Dylan. I also thought his fight in the quarterfinals against Christian Thomas was going to be a close fight, but it wasn't. I thought his fight with Tevin Thompson in the intermediates, that was going to be a close fight. All due respect, it wasn't. By the third round, Tevin, he couldn't keep up with the pace. So Dylan, 23-0, he's got momentum on his side. 2 big wins in the quarter and the semi-final. Yassin, on the other hand, he's had a straight final. His quarter-final and semi-final opponents have pulled out. Now, although that may be good for the ego, it's not really good to build up any type of momentum going into a regional final. I think that's a disadvantage for Yassin, because without doubt, Dylan is going to be brimming with confidence with 2 great wins, and 2 great wins before that in the intermediates. This is Yassin at a home show in February against a boy called Owen McDonough. Yassin ended up winning this by stoppage. However, as good a win as it was, as convincing as it was, Owen has been out for quite a long time. I believe he ballooned up. He hasn't been boxing. He went up to something like 80 kg or something, so he's had to come back down. Yassin was due to fight Christian Thomas on a home show before this, but unfortunately, due to injury, I can't remember who got injured, that fight didn't go ahead. Putting the fight into context, you can obviously only beat who they put in front of you, and Yassin did that very convincingly. However, Owen wasn't on form, and this was his first fight after a long spell out. So with that said, I think Dylan's win over Christian is more convincing than Yassin's was over Omar. So this is coming towards the end of the first round. In the second round, Dylan had given Gabriel a standing count, piling on a lot of pressure. This is now the third round. Both boxers did get 2 points deducted each, and the referee made it very clear, the next one and you're out. So they were having to be very careful. And from Dylan's perspective, under pressure, an emphatic win, great stoppage. Big up Gabriel, because he's a brilliant competitor and a brilliant boxer, and he was really devastated with that loss because he really wanted to do better than he did. But, you know, up against somebody like Dylan, there's no shame in losing that fight. Now, rewinding back to Yassin's last fight, this was also in February against Marcus from St. Ives. Marcus used to be at Repton before, a good kid. However, this was Marcus's first 3-minute rounds. So there's that adjustment. Yassin made him look a little bit uncomfortable in there. Like, you know, it was a good win for Yassin. However, again, I have to stress, it's not as emphatic as Dylan's last win, nor is it as recent. So definitely the momentum is on the side of Dylan. He's had the better wins. He's undefeated. He's also beaten Yassin once before. So I think going into this fight, the pressure has to be on Yassin. He's also built up a massive social media following with his chess boxing course, just under 50,000 followers. So without doubt, that's also going to be additional pressure that Yassin is going to take into the fight with him. Now, of course, some people, you know, absolutely thrive under pressure. We'll have to see how Yassin copes with that. So, of course, Yassin, the self-proclaimed chess boxer, against Dylan, he's going to have to play speed chess because Dylan doesn't give you that time to think. But Simon and Ricardo, both their coaches, are going to be instrumental in that fight. So, for me personally, I think that Dylan is favourite to win that fight in the final against Yassin, possibly by a stoppage in the third round, because each time I thought the fights are going to be close, he's actually dominated and he's won by stoppage in the final round. So what's to say that he's not going to do the same thing again? If Yassin were to win, and is very capable of winning, he's going to have to put on, like, you know, a masterclass, and he's really going to have to show what he's about. But nevertheless, may the best man win. It's going to be a great, great fight. Please get in the comments. I want to know what you guys think.
The winner in the blue corner, Dylan Oke.
All right, here with the main man, Dylan Oke. Talk me through today, bro.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Tough opponent. He's an old teammate of mine. But yeah, we got the stoppage third round, so it's on to the next.
And you stopped Christian Thomas in the last fight as well. Did you see that happening, or?
Yeah, I did, to be honest. Like, I believe in myself. I feel like if I turn up on a day, I can stop anyone. And yeah, I'm in good form right now. So yeah, I saw it. That's how I saw it going.
Must have a lot of confidence going into the final now.
Yeah, when I train, I don't leave no stone unturned. So I train very, very, very hard. And I feel like it shows in my fights, you know. So I'm confident going into the final. Yeah, I've done everything, and I'm feeling good.
So Yassin's opponent pulled out. I'm not sure why. So he gets a little bit more rest.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's going to be an advantage for him, being a little bit fresher going into the final?
To be honest, I'm not thinking about him. You get me? I'm just thinking about me. I've had 2 warm-up fights, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. Like, I don't think about next man going into fights. I just take care of what I need to take care of. Do you get? So yeah, I was not really worried about him.
And your record now?
It's 23-0. Yeah.
Undefeated going into the final.
Yeah.
This is your first year as an elite, right? A senior elite?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
How did you see the final panning out?
I see myself winning. Yeah. 100%.
Okay, well, 20 seconds. Looking forward to it.
Appreciate it, man.
Big up yourself, man.
Yeah, come on, love. Big up BoxingTunes every time, man. Come on.
So there we have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Big up BoxingTunes every time. Please, people, get in the comments, but keep it respectful. Like, obviously, these are predictions. you know, they're not prophecies. Boxing's a matter of opinions. We can all get it wrong. I love being proved wrong personally. At the end of the day, like, we want to see good boxing. We want to see good competitive boxing. Keep it clean, keep it respectful, and ultimately it's about the sportsmanship, making each other better. Aron Howard in white v Tevin Thompson from Islington. I thought Tevin was favourite to win this. I thought he was going to win this, and Aron came out and proved me wrong. A case in point. Tevin really does hit hard as well, but in this fight, last round, very much like it happened with Dylan in his intermediate final, because Dylan did compete at 75 kg intermediates and beat Tevin. In the last round, kind of like, you know, the gas tank was empty and he's not using his range like he can, you know, really up close, playing into Aron's strengths. So Aron managed to grind out a result. Perhaps not the best highlights. This referee is my arch nemesis. It was very difficult to navigate around him when he was getting close to the camera. So I did my best. This is the third round, and after this we're going to have his teammate Denzel. So win for Aron going into the final, but not before taking some damage. So there's going to be an element of recovery before Friday's final. So next up, we've got Denzel from Del Youth in a white vest. He's fighting Tommy Lake from the academy. Tommy Lake's had a bit of a spell out. Looks decent, looks like a good kid. Very good range on him, so he'll be one to look out for in the future as he gets back into boxing and gets into shape and gets back into form. But this was a good fight. Denzel, I remember him from the 2022 semi-finals. He knocked down Keevdale. He can really punch, this kid. Before getting disqualified, he was a bit too rough with it, especially with the head. Had too many warnings, and he got disqualified in 2022 semi-finals. Keevdale, of course, went on to fight in the final against Jimmy Sains and lost that. Denzel was a finalist last year, so he'll be looking to go one better. In the second round, I didn't record that one, but he really started to go to town in the, with the body shots. He was having a lot of success, slowed Tommy down. There was a lot of holding here from Tommy, with being the taller boxer. He was leaning in quite a bit, but at range, picking off some good shots. So Denzel has to be the favourite against Aron. I think Aron had the tougher fight against Tevin. So my prediction, not that anyone's interested, but I think Denzel will take the win in that final on Friday. Next up, the informed Jay Johnson here fighting Chima Duru from Double Jabs. This is the last round, and Jay done really well in the first two. Jay has really started to come on. He had 2 losses to 2 top boys in the NABGC final, or was it the semi-final? I can't remember. He lost to Dimiji, and I think he then had a fight and lost to Lucas as well. So 2 top boys he lost to, and he's learned a lot from that. He had taken the standing count. He was really disappointed with himself, but I think he kind of had the fight sewn up already by this point in the third round. But he's really learned to fight to his strengths. Great fitness. He boxes well, plays to his strengths. So he'll be going into the final, and he's going to fight Omar Augustine. And he's got a big task at hand. He's really going to have to box really, really well because Omar looks so strong, and you'll see what I'm talking about next. Okay, and last but not least, Omar Augustine here against Benson. This was the last round, and you know, he piled a lot of pressure. Benson was holding a lot, so I think that might have been the second point that got deducted from him. Referee made it very clear, like, you know, do that again and you're out of here. As for Omar, this guy does not have a reverse gear in him. He's literally like a bad dream. He just keeps on marching forward, and he's got some good power in him because, you know, the body language from Benson in the last round, it wasn't really good. It was really ground down. Great body shots, great power shots, just kept on coming forward, and eventually I think the referee had seen enough. So that's a real good fight there with Jay. I think Omar's going to be the favourite. Demiji beat Omar in 2022, outboxed him, kept it long, kept it at range, but you know, Demiji's range is just, you know, his reach is incredible. Jay doesn't quite have that. Anytime, you know, you get a standing count, the referee is going to be looking into your eyes, but not just that, he's also going to be looking at the body language to try and determine whether you're looking for a way out, because obviously as boxers don't like to quit. They don't know when to quit, and sometimes they need saving from themselves. So as the rounds went on, as the body language kind of deteriorated, as it got more and more one-sided, the referee had seen enough and he called it quits. What you saw from Omar Augustine today, you think you can beat him, yeah?
Yeah, I believe I can beat him. I have the skills to beat him. It's one of those ones where I just have to stay disciplined and stick to the game plan. Not going to get there or get in over my head and get too emotional or try and have it out with him, because if I do that, he's going to win, and that's how it is. But my skills are more than enough to beat him. I have to prove that I'm at the level where fighters like this, I can make the adjustments and beat them because I have the ability. And I'm not going to say that he's not good, but in terms of technical ability, there are flaws in his game plan. Not to badmouth him or anything, but that's just how it is. But I believe I can beat him, and we'll see.